into talking to Imagineering, they didn't understand how to take this into a world that wasn't made of concrete. In 2000, I wrote an article for Gamma Sutra just out of frustration, basically saying the missed opportunities between the theme park world and and video games, and sort of laid out those design principles that could be used in virtual world creation that work. We know they work in illustration and also in theme parks, and it ended up creating a hybrid career for me. I've jumped back and forth between theme parks and video games, always bringing this philosophy along with me. And during COVID, my ex-Imagineer friends and I hung out in early Walkabout, created by Lucas Martel by himself. And we just couldn't stop talking about how incredibly like the theme park world this was, that the design principles that we were applying worked in Walkabout. And so I wrote a fan letter and got and was hired as the senior art director at Walkabout. And since there, we've done, we're what, 30, almost 40 plus courses we've been able to produce, ranging from about 7 to 8 new courses a year as DLCs. And each of them have been sort of a laboratory to expand on and explore this idea of creating context for humans to interact with each other, but also apply this idea of a story as an envelope that guides not only the experience of the players, but also it becomes the rails that the designers use as they're making choices. How do I best support this story envelope that we've decided that each of these courses need to be contained within? And what I've discovered in all the things I've worked on is that container is not a limitation. It's those barriers that you've created, as the rules of engagement within a story, are the things that the designers get to push against and challenge and then add depth to. One other thing that we try to do too is we use sort of cinematic sort of language. So when you first arrive at a Walkabout course, there's an establishing shot. There's that, and particularly in here, it's that, hopefully, it's that awe moment of, oh my God, this place is huge. And then we support that with the props and the layout and the details that reinforce that first experience. So in the case of Mount Olympus, we wanted anybody who had a sort of a deep love or understanding for the Greek myths to be rewarded with lots and lots of Easter eggs. For someone who knows nothing about the Greek myths, it's just a really cool big place to hang out in. So in both cases, we succeed, hopefully. And so each one we're working on, and we're well into the courses into 2027. Each of them is another opportunity for us to tell a story, but most importantly, it's an opportunity to create an environment where people get to socialize with each other within that context. And I'm sure a lot of other things will be covered in questions, but I think the majority of fan mail we get are from people who talk about having reconnected with a family member, or my favorite is that dads suck at phone. You know, it's inevitably, here's your dad. Well, how you doing? Okay, here's your mom again. We just aren't good at it. But when there's this amazing little distraction, like something as simple as taking a stick and hitting a ball into a hole, it creates these pauses that allow for humans to interact with each other. And then we double down on supporting it with little bits of story business that you stumble on, where someone goes, hey, look at that, did you notice that? And then everybody circles around it, has a conversation, and that all of those little bits of business, all those little smoking guns and breadcrumbs we've left everywhere, create a shared experience, very much like going to Disneyland. Disneyland is a collection of attractions, but really what they're selling is the day you spent with the people you love, or you're dating, or you're hanging out with. And when you leave, the byproduct, of course, could be a t-shirt or mouse ears, but really it's a shared experience. And I think that that's really the sort of secret sauce to why Walkabout's been popular, is that we leave with having had a connection with another human being within the context of fun little diverting stories.